Hi, I'm Jamie Chu, and this is Experience CTN, where we're going to learn more about CTN's volunteers and producers who have supported community media over the past years. I'm here with siblings Teya and Noah Bond, who have been community volunteers since 2016. Thanks, you guys, for coming on the show.
Thanks for inviting us.
Yeah, for sure. So can you guys kind of talk about how you started with CTN?
Well, our mother, Andrea, was like, oh, you guys should come take this class at CTN so you can, like, at that time we were just, like, thinking about, oh, maybe we should get into film and stuff like that. So she's like, well, this is a good way to see if you really like it or not.
Right.
So we came to the class, and it was great, and we liked it, so we stuck around.
That's awesome. So did you guys know anything about CTN prior, or was it just kind of your mom brought it up?
Well, growing up, we watched CTN.
I think we were on CTN.
We were?
Yeah, I remember when we were. Well, it was like when we were really young.
Really?
It was during an art fair, I think.
Oh,
Really?
yeah.
Yeah, remember that?
I remember that.
Did
Yeah.
you guys go to like the booth or something?
Yeah,
when
I
you were
remember that.
interviewed?
Yeah, that was
That's
a
really
long
cool.
time ago. We were
Yeah.
So you guys are lifers then?
Yeah,
CTN
pretty much.
lifers, for
Yeah.
sure. All right, so after you took the classes, why did you guys start, wanting to volunteer at CTN?
Well, I wasn't really doing anything at the time, and I enjoyed the classes, so it's like, why not go and see what else I can do here,
Yeah,
just to
that's
keep
awesome.
busy.
Sure, and what about you, Teya?
Pretty much the same thing. I really enjoyed, like, being off camera and, like, meeting new people and making shows and helping others make shows. I really like that, so I just decided to keep volunteering and
Yeah, for sure.
have fun.
All right, so why were you interested in crewing productions and not necessarily maybe being in front of the camera all the time?
Well, for me, being on camera is kind of awkward.
Here we are.
Yeah, but I really enjoy showing and telling other people, like, different stories and stuff like that.
Right.
So crewing for me was just more, I guess, easier.
Fair enough. What
Yeah.
about you, Noah?
Well, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say because I like. Well, my first thought was that I would like to be in front of the camera,
Mhm.
but when you're here and not there, there's nothing really. There's nothing you can really do to affect what's going on. So, I would like to be trying to direct things and be in the technical side instead of
for sure.
the talent and actually, holding
Making things happen,
making
so to
things
speak.
happen, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So do you guys have like favorite crew positions that you've done? Like, have you liked doing director more or behind the camera? Like, what's kind of your favorite gig so far?
For me, so far, I like being behind camera because it's like you got to be on your toes and you don't know, like, what the talent's going to do. So you have to kind of, like, anticipate them and get the timing right. So that's the most fun. But the hardest part is, like, if somebody does something funny, you can't laugh. So that's pretty hard, but
Yeah,
it's a really fun position for me.
for sure.
Yeah, I would say camera would also be one of my favorite positions. I think I like directing better more because, well, like I said, you get to see all the cameras and you get to cover all the shots and find the shot that you want. With just being on a camera, you can't really do that. You have to get the shot that you're told to get.
Right, whereas if you're a director,
Yeah,
you kind of
and
make those calls.
It's like that, and sometimes it depends on who's directing at the time. But if you want to get a say in, like, what you want to shoot, sometimes the director will say, okay, you can go ahead and go and do something different, basically. And
Yeah. So
but
there
it
is a little bit
depends.
of leeway there, but
Yeah.
you would prefer to be more in control of, like, say, how the story's being pieced together.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I can see that. All right. And do you guys have, like, a favorite production memory that you've had here, maybe on the field?
Here, my favorite memory that I have is when I crewed with Sienna Morgan. She's a country singer. We had a live band in here, and I was behind camera. and our director was trying to tell me to pan, but I couldn't hear which way he wanted me to pan. So I was just kind of like panning, like back and forth, and I had no idea which way I was supposed to go, and he was like yelling, but I could not hear him. It was so bad, and I felt so bad. But it was really funny.
So that's your favorite memory?
Yeah.
All right, what about you, Noah?
Oh, wow. There's so many I can't even... Wow. I think my favorite memory is I was directing, I can't remember what it was, but we didn't, this was so silly, we didn't start, the cameras, we didn't press recording, we didn't press record on the cameras. So while the show was going on, basically none of the film was getting captured.
Why is that your
So-
favorite? Oh my god.
It was like because towards the middle of it, we like froze and realized it was like, oh no, it's not,
Right.
it's not recording. And then like I think I was one of the first to notice it because then I was like, just press because I was on the camera at the time.
Okay.
And when I noticed it, I pressed the record button. I was like, okay, hopefully that was just me.
That was a little delayed. Was this
Yeah.
out on the field or was that?
Yeah, it was out on the field.
Oh, okay,
I
awesome.
think.
Where were you guys at?
We were at Skyline. I think this was TEDx, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
TEDx,
It was TEDx,
because we had to actually press record.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you don't really have to do that in the studio.
Yeah, TEDx was really fun.
Yeah.
All right. And what workshops did you take when you guys were over here taking the classes?
Mm.
I can't remember the name, but the first one that you have to take, the like studio, I think it's called studio.
I think so.
Yeah.
I
The
could be
required
wrong.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The studio, we took that one, and then I took the one over
Lighting?
there. No, the like little room.
Hotline Studio.
Yes,
Okay.
that Hotline Studio. I took
Yeah.
that. Yeah, that's the only two I've
I was thinking about taking that, but I only took the one.
Okay, like the intro
first
kind
required,
of?
yeah.
Awesome. And I guess that would be your favorite and only class. So I guess asking what your favorite class is kind of moot point. But what about you, Tim?
Yeah.
I like studio. It
Yeah.
was really fun. My mom and my brother took it with me, so that was fun. Yeah, that was my favorite, the studio.
And did your mom kind of participate in like the productions with you guys, or was it mostly just you?
Mostly just us. I
Okay.
think she's only crewed on The Secret Ingredient. Did she even crew?
Yeah, she was.
Yeah,
there.
she did.
I think she was.
She was
she a pro-
audio.
No, I think she was producer. Right.
Oh, okay.
Oh wow, fancy, nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was doing something back there. I know that.
Yeah.
All right. And speaking of, producing stuff, what kind of shows have you been involved with at CTN?
Mm.
I've done Cash 22, Head to Head, which is a game show, which was really fun. And then Artist Spotlight, which is the one I was talking about, Sienna Morgan with the live band. That was fun.
Awesome. And same
Yeah.
for you, Noah?
I did Cash 22. I think I did a head-to-head.
Yeah, you did, because I
Yeah.
couldn't make it to one.
Yeah, I had to sub in for her. But,
For sure.
I think those are the only ones I've done that I can think of.
Yeah, for sure.
But hopefully
Well,
I'll be able to do more in the future.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Well, let's have a look at what you guys have done through CTN.
Okay.
It was my first day of first grade. My dad walked me to school, dropped me off, said hello to my teacher, and walked away. While he was walking away, my teacher looked at me and said, "Teya, are you adopted?" I said, "I don't know. I was 6. I didn't even know what adopted meant." But here I was in Ann Arbor, one of the most diverse cities I'll ever live in, and an educator is asking a 6-year-old if she's adopted, just because her dad is a few shades darker than her. Oh, and I spent most of my year the only black girl in my class.
The color inside, it kind of looks greenish inside.
Greenish.
Yeah.
These are blueberry muffins. How can that be?
I don't know, but it looks green.
Well,
Let's welcome back to this Champions Round team number 1, Dane and McKay. I asked McKay if she were to win Marty McFly's time machine, what time period would she travel to and why? She'd like to go to the 1800s to meet Mark Twain and see Buffalo Bill's Wild West show. Dane, on the other hand, would prefer to travel to the future.
All right, well, that was really cool. Can you kind of tell us about some interesting people that you've come across in your productions?
Well, with The Secret Ingredient, I met Mary. She is like a healthy cooking teacher. She teaches, I can't remember where she teaches, but she teaches people how to cook healthier. She was probably one of the most interesting people I've met because, as you saw in The Secret Ingredient, she makes things that are tasteful but healthy at the same time.
Right.
So we had brownies that had beans in them, and then we had a muffin that had something else that was really healthy, but it tasted really good. So, yeah, she's pretty interesting. I've met a lot of people, so they're all pretty interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
So-
What about you?
I can't remember his name. He was he was our director for TEDx. Who was that?
Our director,
Or not our director. He was like the organizer.
Andy?
Andy, yeah. Wait, was it Andy?
I don't know. Andy was there, but
He was there, but well, it was a student actually.
Oh, student.
Yeah. He like organized the whole thing, and you know, for someone, I think he had to be a senior because he was like really hyper all the time, and he was always running around the place, just you know, doing a million things at once.
Of course.
And he was like, when I got to talk to him, it was like for only 2 seconds, but it was like when I talked to him, he was like on his game and like, okay, what are you here for? Are you gonna do this? Okay, cool. I'll see you later. And he just jetted off, and I was like, okay, nice talking to you, man.
All right. Good to see you. All right. And what are some important topics that you guys have had discussed on the shows that you've crewed or maybe been a part of?
Well, for TEDx, I talked about my experience in Ann Arbor Public Schools. That was probably the most, it was very nerve-wracking because, like, I've never really talked to that many people at one time, and they were all, like, staring at me, and I was like, oh, my God. But that, I was basically, like, saying that my experience as a minority was very different than how I think other kids that aren't minorities were. And I just, well, my friend, she was up there, Sade, she asked me to do it with her because I was like, no way am I doing this alone. So we like talked about what we wanted to do, and we were like, well, why don't we just talk about like our experience because that's what we know most about. And that one was really probably the most important thing that I've ever talked about in anything I've probably made because it was mine and it was real life, and some people didn't like it, but it was true. So
Yeah, that's what's important.
yeah,
Exactly.
so that's one of the more serious / more like important things that I've talked about in a show.
Awesome. What about you, Noah? Maybe not you specifically talking, because I know you haven't really been in front of the camera most of the time, but just maybe some topics that you've noticed on productions that you thought were interesting or important.
I honestly don't think I can say a lot. Not a lot of the shows I've done or projects I've done have been like serious things. But I would say probably in the same TEDx thing that my sister was in, there were like multiple presentations about awareness to different things. Like there was one about I think it was something to do with Morse code or oh no, it was cancer, I think, and how it like translates into how it's similar to Morse code or something. It was crazy. I don't know
I don't
know how the kid came up with it, but
Yeah,
it
that
was
was-
like wow.
Yeah.
And you know, like the one my sister did, there's some things in there that I didn't even know about, and you know, I live with her, so it was interesting to hear them when she presented them. She was actually really good at presenting. I couldn't tell that she was nervous at all doing that, because I know I would have been. I wouldn't have.
Oh yeah, same.
I was
in
very
front of like a
nervous.
crowd of like hundreds of people. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh,
like-
no.
Yeah.
You definitely take the cake with that one.
Yeah. good
Yeah, it
job.
was very hard.
Yeah. So that kind of segues into my next question, which is directed at you specifically, Teya. So can you tell us a little bit more about that TEDx youth experience?
Well, I was a senior in high school when I did it. my friend Sade, she wanted to do one, but she didn't want to do one by herself, so she was asking around, and then she got to me, and I was like, well, if it's something I know about, then sure. So we talked about it a little bit, and then we were like, well, why don't we just talk about our experience, you know, going through Ann Arbor Public Schools, because we both had, you know, been going since kindergarten.
Right.
So we decided to just talk about some things. We were both taking the African American Humanities class at Skyline, and we were talking about like asking our teacher like, what do you think we should do? Like, how should we like plan it out? And she was like, well, why don't you just like start from your first experience that you realized that you were a minority? And so we kind of went through that. And then we cut it down and figured out a way so that it's really hard doing a speech with two people.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So we had to like get timing right and everything like that. But then the day came and we did it, and I think we were like towards the end of the day, so everyone was tired, and I had been on camera a section before, so I was really tired doing that. But then I was like, oh my God, now I have to get ready. And I was just like, I was backstage and I was like, I could not do this. Oh my God.
But the anxiety was building up.
Yeah, it was just like the walls were closing in and I was so scared. But then I just did it and it was good. And most people liked it. We did get a few like negative comments.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just a few. But it was, you know, people, they were like, oh, like.
What, just being snarky about it?
Not really, but just like, they didn't really get it, why we did it and everything like that, because we wanted to like tell people our experience so that people can make it better.
Right.
Because a lot what we were saying was like, you know, some people were being insensitive to the things that we saw, you know, as minorities or people of color.
Right.
And those people that were our teachers or whatever, adults, weren't a person of color, so they didn't really understand certain things that they were saying to us, or I don't know. It was
they didn't understand the impact.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I mean, how could they? They didn't have the same experience.
Yeah. So we tried to explain to people, but we just wanted people to know so that you can think about it and, you know, try to.
Right. Especially since Ann Arbor is so diverse.
Like,
there's
and there's
so many
lots
different
of
kinds of people.
Yeah, and we didn't want what happened to us to happen to anybody else. So
And
just
I thought
awareness.
it turned out really well too.
Thank you.
That's good. All right. So why do you think people should support CTN and what we do here?
Well, CTN is amazing.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, it's a public place for an Ann Arbor residents to come and make pretty much whatever you want at no cost to you. So that's a really big thing because film, it's very expensive.
Yeah, it is. It's like not easy. Well, for one thing, it's not easy to organize it, and then to actually get it. You know, once you have all the resources to actually put it together and be set and do the thing, it's incredibly hard. Like it doesn't sound hard, and trust me, there's been many times I've been like working on a project and I've been so overwhelmed since without CTN, it's like, wow, this is all on me, and there's really nobody else as experienced as me. So it's like, I need some experienced people around to help. So, but as at CTN, everybody here is like very accommodating and very supportive.
And knowledgeable.
If you help, you ask for help here, they'll be more than willing to help and come together to support you. If you take the classes here and volunteer, like
you just have to take the class, then
you just have to take classes.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have to volunteer?
No, not necessarily.
Oh, okay. I was okay, but it's just nice that they're.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm afraid that's all the time we have for today. Thank you guys so much for your insights on CTN.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for future episodes. In the meantime, why not come in and experience all we have to offer for yourself? Visit us online at a2gov.org/CTN. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at CTN Ann Arbor. I want to thank our crew, Bill Booz, Gage Shaughnessy, Natalia Tejeda, and Alicia May. I'm your host, Jamie Chu. See you next time.